Jackie's fun, Judy's a run. They both want to advantage on the Oscar fight. I know I don't know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the program Brett Gelman. Obviously, everybody now knows you from Married on FX.
Do they?
But I know you from the New York Lotto ads.
Oh, yeah.
You did those for years.
For a few years, yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, yeah, that was like my first job where I made real money. It was the most money that I had ever made. Not that it was insane.
They ran them all the time.
Oh yeah, and I got ripped the fuck off big time. Because how much money I should have gotten paid.
You didn't get your own, cardboard cutout right in front of every little bodega and deli. Where they put the sign there and said $20 million this week.
They used my image which thankfully, and this is something because I was nervous when I did the job because I didn't want to be known as little bit of luck. That's what the character's name was. And I didn't want to be known for a commercial because I consider myself a serious actor and comedian. But so yeah, when it didn't really look like me, head shaved, Coke bottle glasses, shorter.
Right.
I was glad about that. So I never really got recognized when I was here. Nobody ever recognized me. Did
you think was that one of those jobs to do to make ends meet, or was this something this could lead to something bigger?
Money,
yeah,
purely money. Yeah,
it's usually what I found out about when people do these older commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think you can go into a commercial thinking in any way other than money.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's healthy.
Well, that's while you were living
if you're
in New
an
York.
actor, but I think there are certain personalities though who probably that's their profession,
right?
And I don't look down on that at all. But for an actor like me who wants to take on great roles and things like that, and it's cash.
Well, let's talk about that. That you want to take on great roles. I've noticed that if you didn't take on great roles, you created great roles for yourself. Some of the specials and the things you've done.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're talked out to death about all your time with UCB and your sketch comedy stuff. And
I mean, I learned to. I write for myself too, and I love writing too. I consider myself a writer, and that's the last time I'll say the 2 words I consider or 3 words I consider myself. I wasn't counting I as a word there. No, but I think that what's cool too is that I feel like everything that I get cast in is by people who share a similar voice to me. And
well, you do a lot of projects with a lot of the same people because you're all in that group. You're all in that friendship of doing sketch comedy. And there's only so many people, even though a lot of people do it, there's only so many people that do it well. So that's why you guys always are bouncing back and forth between each other's projects. Yeah, and we're all friends, and we all have loyalty to each other and stuff like that, especially when we see each other doing good work. You want to... Nobody really gets a handout, I don't think. Well, I mean, some people do, but that's subjective. And I'm sure some people might think that I'm getting a handout. But I don't think that. I think I'm a genius. Why not? I'm a fucking genius. Somebody has to. No, but it's cool. I mean, it's it almost doesn't feel... The hours and the energy you put into it, and that definitely is work. But a lot of the other parts of it is not work. You know, trying to make sure that your performance is good or the writing is good is work. But then what's filling in the blanks? You're not you're hanging out. When you're not acting or writing, you're hanging out with your friends. Yeah, I was gonna say you have to have some fun in it. I mean, obviously everything's work, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. I have a blast on everything that I do. Going from that and then to scripted situations, how do you readjust? If you've been doing
sketches, but also a lot of improv to going into. You don't really have a say. Here's everything you got to do. And you still have to develop the character.
Yeah. So that's my job then, is to take what has been written and bring a character into life from that. So that is, maybe that character has a physical thing. I mean, a lot of my characters don't, they're pretty physically close to who I am. But yeah, you just, what they want, how they go about getting what they want.
Does that drive you nuts sometimes? Do you feel like kind of trapped inside yourself when you're doing the dialogue and taking the direction, but you get that feeling where I know the character may have said this or he may have went in this direction and you can't do that?
Not with great writing, and I have. I'm lucky to work with great writers who, when I'm saying their stuff, it's
feel you out. And
I want to do the writing proud.
Right.
When I'm doing something that's written by, Andrew Gerland or Natasha Leggero or,
did you ever do her
Paul
hot tub
Rust
show?
and no, I couldn't do it. I wanted to. She's my buddy.
Yeah, she's a good friend of ours too. But,
yeah. Everybody loves her.
That hot tub show.
How can you not love her? It
Yeah.
was so good. I know. I fucked up. I think I was out of town or working at the time on something else. But or like just all the great writers that I've gotten to work with. Doing like Judd or Jonathan Ames. There's just like a lot of Janixa Bravo, Jason Wolner. These are like, all these people are just phenomenal writers that when I'm doing their stuff, I want to do their writing proud,
One other project that you had that, like I said, I knew you from the New York Lotto commercials, but there was another project that you had that really, I guess, stuck out to me where watching the show, and even though you weren't the star, you were pretty much my focus onto why I was watching that show.
Oh, cool.
And that was Go On.
Oh, yeah.
With Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
So a lot of the story,
Thank
of course, is around him, but whenever the support group was involved, even though there was a bunch of crazies and everything, and you just stood out from the crazies. So like your character was Mr. K, right?
Yeah.
Right. Your character, whether you said something or you didn't do something, spoke louder than when you actually did it.
Yeah. I mean, I went with like a certain choice with that character that they really loved, and so I got to be the like the Mikey of that show. Like, he'll do it. Let him do it. And I got treated really well. I mean, and they wrote my character great. I mean, I didn't really improvise on that show. And again, I mean, great writer like Scott Silveri, who created the show. The show definitely had like, I think, some first season kinks that could have been worked out, and I think would have been worked out in a second season. But it was fun, and Matthew was really supportive of me, and Matthew didn't want to have it all on him. He's not like greedy like that, like I'm the star and all the jokes have to be mine. He was like, no, I want this to be an ensemble show,
right?
So I don't need to be in every fucking scene.
That's good to know, because he had that with Friends, where he became a lot of the heavy funny has to come off of you.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
This time around,
like,
it's just like
from
bounce off of me and let you guys do it.
Yeah, and originally I was just a guest star, like when I got to the first table read of the pilot, I was just a guest star and a day player, and I had like 3 lines in that pilot, and that guy, I mean, right after the table read was like, I was in first position to another show at the time, another pilot at the time, and he just like took me to like Dodgers games and like treated me like gold. It really made me feel good. I mean, because he didn't need to do that. He could have been threatened by somebody else being funny, and I think Matthew's comedic genius. I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for I mean, he gets enough credit for being Chandler, but there's a reason people loved Chandler, and that's because
of
Matthew's so fucking funny. And as a guy too, just hanging out with him, he's
So that must have been easy then when you did a guest stint on Odd Couple.
Yeah, even though I didn't get to do anything with Matthew on that. It was all with Tom. But like I've known Tom for a bit.
Another great sketch comedy legend.
Yeah, sketch
Tom
comedy
Lennon,
legend.
for those who don't know, from the state.
Yeah.
Viva Variety, Reno 911, things like that.
Yeah. So that was cool. I mean, that was kind of a weird experience just in terms of I didn't. I think I fell. It was strange. I'd never done like a multicam before, and I don't think.
Yeah, the sitcom world seems so alien now.
It's
right?
very weird.
Yeah.
It's like very different. Like the cable single cam world is very like do it yourself. Like everybody's a family. You show
You're
up.
in the
you
bar,
let
go. Yeah.
and like. If you get angry on set, you get angry on set. Nobody's like looking at you. There's no microscope on you. There's no eye on you.
Right.
So everybody's just expected to do good work, and that's it. When it comes to network, and to Go On's credit, you didn't feel this in Go On. We were very protected. So we kind of like all acted like we didn't have anything to lose, and that gave me a lot of freedom to act. However,
right.
do the character, because you need that. And one other thing I'll say about Matthew too is like I would have jokes, or I would have like no lines in a scene, and he would be like, "Hey, I want you to do this joke." He would like make sure I got something in the scene.
That's
very
great.
giving guy.
Yeah, like you said before,
not
a lot
enough
of people
know
would do
that about him.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a big difference with cable. It's very like. A few people already going into this situation, but even when you don't, even on like something like I'm on a few episodes of Blunt Talk,
right?
And I don't know,
can't wait
and
to
I
see.
play Patrick Stewart's neighbor on that, and everybody's just like into it. Starts off in a more positive place of where like you're coming into it, and like nobody's like caring so much about the ratings game and all of that. Nobody's caring about money as much, and you're stepping in, and then and everybody's just like gracious and cool and creative. The creativity is like, what is the best way to do this, rather than like, well, what does the network want?
Let's go back to what you said about the single camera shoot being a bit easier, which of course is Married on FX. Thursday nights 10:30. We hadn't gotten that in there, so we figured work it in now.
Thank you. And another period on Tuesdays at 10:30.
Well, that
Gotta
also
give
I
it
want
up
to
for
talk to you
them.
about in a second. But you play AJ on the show. Again, another off the wall type of character who means well, but goes crazy.
Yeah.
Because of things that were not necessarily because of him, but things that happened to him. So he's kind of reacting, where it's a little different than the characters you play, where your character is usually putting out his vibe to everybody else. This one is reacting off everything that's hitting him.
Right.
How close to the vest, to the chest, do you play these characters? Like for AJ for there, and what you did with Mr. K and Go On. Where do you fall into this?
I always try to find something personal in it, and in a lot of my characters, a lot of that personal thing comes from, really wanting acceptance, but then feeling like I'm not accepted, and then just wanting so bad to be normal and to be healthy and happy, but then you have this other aspects to your personality that get in the way of that. So
right.
like you're in this sort of cyclone a lot of the time. And that's especially true of AJ, is like AJ wants love. AJ just wants to be like, okay, but he's an addict and he has anger problems and he's jealous, and like he is unfiltered in a lot of the things that he's feeling, which makes him in a way a reliable person to be around, because he's not going to surprise you, and like pull out some dark shit out of nowhere. But he's also difficult to be around because it takes a lot of energy to hang out with him. And I relate to that.
Well, I don't know if he wouldn't pull out some dark shit out of nowhere, because in a recent episode, you were being kicked out of your own partnership with the law firm.
Yeah.
And you go to the bar with your buddies, with Nate Faxon and Paul Reiser, and they just think you're having a hard time or something, and then all of a
Right.
sudden it turns out that you're trying to hit on the mistress to your old partner at the law firm
Right.
to fuck him over.
Yeah.
That's some dark shit.
And when I'm supposed to be celibate, when I've
Right.
declared celibacy. Yeah, no, it's super dark. And I think that in a way surprises Nat and John Hodgman,
Hodgman,
and
yeah.
Paul Reiser. But like, well, Paul Reiser isn't actually there for when I decide he's there for the preamp, the amp up. But it's not like, whoa, I thought you were it's not a surprise in the, oh my God, I thought you were a completely different person.
No,
It's not like a Bill Cosby where
No,
you're like, America's dad is all of a sudden a serial rapist.
It was. I did not see that coming. Yet it still fit into the character. It's like that's not outside of his wheelhouse. But I didn't see this situation happening.
So that's what I meant by a surprise.
Yeah.
It's like you would never think that I would do something like that. But it is, of course, surprising that anyone would act in that unhealthy of a way.
I love it's no spoiler because it's out on demand and everything. You should definitely check the whole series out, but this particular episode, when it doesn't seem to going to be working out and you just lay it on the table and say, look, I fucked up. And she goes, I fucked up too. And then you guys wind up hooking up in the parking lot and everyone's just standing there, smoking a cigarette, looking at their watch like, come on, I can't believe this is going. Well, we'll just leave them there and let it go.
No, it is like this thing of everybody has bad impulses and engages in like unhealthy behavior, but like everybody's in touch with that in a way, and then don't judge. In the end, they don't judge each other too much for acting the ways that they act because they relate to each other.
It seems a couple of things. One, AJ has these little victories where he wins the battle but never wins the war. He wins these little things at the time, but they never add up to the bigger picture of what would make his life happier.
Right.
And it winds up making it worse.
Yeah.
The other thing is some of the things that you do, I saw a little bit of me in some of those things, and I could see other jealous boyfriends or whatever going through those scenarios in their mind, like, where is she? What is she doing? I got to check her phone, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So you're playing it kind of real, but exaggerated at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, every human being has dark shit in their subconscious.
Right.
It's something I believe, because it's impossible. We were kids. So like the trauma from like being an innocent kid to learning about the world is gonna fuck us up in some way. Now, not to that degree. So you hope that people are allowing themselves to relate to some of the feelings and behavior of the show, or at least like be able to empathize with it and like or at least sympathize with it.
Let's change gears a little bit and go over to because I only have a certain amount of time with you with another period. Had an impressive display at San Diego Comic-Con outside. It's just this old-fashioned, old-timey chair, and then these guys in tuxedos and black hats bringing out the women on these chairs. Like it was just really absurd.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
They brought out Natasha and Ricky on the chairs.
Right.
Oh, cool.
So another period.
I don't know why I wasn't invited to that.
Well, you're busy.
I think I was busy.
She's still resentful for the not making time for the hot tub show.
Yeah.
The another period is a great show on Comedy Central that you definitely need to check out, and you play Hamish on that show.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe this show. It's a historical period piece.
Yeah,
but it's too modern to be an historical period piece.
No, I don't think that there's a lot of concentration on being historically accurate.
Right.
Accurate. Yeah, no, I said accurate. Did you hear that?
That's
that was a Freudian
perfect for that
slip,
show.
man. No, it's like a really, it's a Downton Abbey parody, essentially.
Right.
Like big, like dumb period romp that is super fun. It's just like an insane joke fest. You
can check out older clips and whatnot of another period on ComedyCentral.com. I saw a bunch of stuff up there. There's another one coming out, another episode, or?
Yeah, I think next week is the season finale.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
There you go. So check out another period because it's also in that same genre of like Drunk History. There's just a bunch of great shows that are being put out by, and it's, again, rotating cast of people who are good in everything.
Yeah, it's an insane cast. Yeah. So
check out Another Period.
Check it out, guys. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Another project that you have, and I wanted to ask you about because I heard a rumor that you're maybe doing a third installment. Is when you do Dinner with Brett Gelman.
Yes.
Because you did it with you and friends, and then you did it with you and your family.
Yes.
These, you can check these out on Adult Swim. I laughed so hard with the Friends one because I'm a big fan of Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that you start off the whole dinner party, and it's pretty much, hey, welcome to my party, and then you start controlling the flow of the conversation, lecturing them, complaining that they're not, all they talk about is work, and then you determine to make them all feel individually bad about themselves through the whole meal, and then the show's over.
Yeah.
There's nothing getting resolved. Everyone's miserable.
It's a horror movie. Yeah, it switches from comedy to
you have a third
psychological
one
and physical torture. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's called Dinner in America, and it's about race. It has to do with race, so it's going to be the most intense one so far. And I'm bringing out to I think that white people should be talking about race too, dealing with the problem as well, and like helping our brothers and sisters of color to express what's happening to them in this country
instead of just keeping their mouth shut because they feel they'll get in trouble. By trying to help.
Yeah, which they won't. They're white, so I don't know why people think they'll get in trouble.
People get in trouble for a lot less these days now, just for things that are misconstrued or taken out of context because of social media.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't understand the intent or the impression behind the words that are being written. So everyone goes, oh my God, you're a horrible person. That's not what I was saying at all.
Right.
So that's
but then at times it's like, I think in some of those situations of like, you shouldn't be, destroyed, but you should address this.
Explain yourself a little bit,
Exactly.
See where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you're taking that take on the third one there.
Well, it's a tricky thing, and it makes people feel really uncomfortable. But I think that people got to feel uncomfortable about it because black people certainly feel uncomfortable living in this country.
So, turn the spotlight around.
Exactly.
Like I said, you've done so many other sketch comedy shows. You did, like I said, UCB. You did Kroll Show.
Yeah.
The Comedy Central shows that we talked about. Eagleheart was another one with Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
Which is just one of those bizarre shows where they don't explain what it is, and you have to sit there and watch it in order to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like the promos just show really absurd stuff, but don't really give you anything as to what the show actually is. And it's like, that is too fucked up. I need to watch that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like Walker, Texas Ranger on acid.
Right.
And if you're a fan of Chris's stuff, which I certainly am and was when I, that you're going to be getting a certain type of thing because that guy's still ahead of his time, what he was doing in the 80s even. So, yeah. But and Jason Wallner, who basically ran that show, is co-created, co-wrote, and directs the specials that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I just want to point out some things that you pretty much are a podcast darling as of late.
Am I?
Year. Yeah. You're all over the place because I remember I saw you on. You were on At Midnight. And then you also did the Soup with Joel McHale.
Yeah.
But I heard you on the Comedy Bang Bang podcast because you're on there every now and then.
Yeah.
But
I did the show too.
You also did one of my favorite podcasts. You did How Did This Get Made?
Oh yeah.
With Paul Scheer.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you did the Sean Connery movie Zardos.
Yeah.
Insane. But just to sit there and dissect a movie that really should never have been made to begin with.
Oh, I'm very glad that it was made.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that movie was made.
But
I think that there's a lot of movies that people praise nowadays that are way worse than Zardoz. Way less vision.
If you look back at it now and you just go, oh, it was a different time. That was it was the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're all over the podcast. You did Greg Fitzsimmons. What else is next for you here? I know you have Joshy in 2016.
Yeah, Joshy will be coming out.
Which is also a lot of regular improv guys and gals.
Yeah, the guy Jeff Baina wrote and directed it. And it's, Adam Pally, Nick Kroll, Jenny Slate, Aubrey Plaza.
Allison Bree's on there too.
Oh yeah, Allison Brie shows up in it. I mean, a ton of Paul Reiser's in it. Yeah, a lot of people.
So look out for that.
Yeah, this indie. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Paul Russ, Leslie Arfin, and a guy you might know his name, Judd Apatow's show on Netflix called Love.
Just had a book out.
Right. This this kind of outsider artist guy, Judd Apatow.
Yeah, Leslie's husband.
Yeah. And that was really fun. I'm in a bunch of episodes of that, and I play Gillian Jacobs, the brilliant Gillian Jacobs is also in it. It's her and Paul Rust, and I play her boss, and then I'm in Blunt Talk with that's coming out, Jonathan Ames's show with Patrick Stewart and a lot of amazing people.
That's on Stars.
Jackie Weaver, Dolly Wells, Tim Sharp. And that's
we're running out of time here with you. I wish we could talk more because you have a lot of stuff that I've seen you all over. But
keep plugging.
We'll do it next time. Brett Gelman is on the show, Married on FX, Thursdays 10:30 on, of course, FX. And Brett Gelman on Twitter. Follow him to see everything that you've been up to. I'm a big fan, sir. Like
Thanks,
I said,
man.
I knew you from the Lotto commercials, and look where you are now. You've come a long way.
Thank you, buddy.
Next time you're in New York, I'd love to talk to you again. All right?
I'd love to, man.
Take care.
Great fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah.